Vande Gujarat.
Hello everyone. I, Pinky Kumari, welcome you all on another wonderful session which is based on Linguaskill Business Training Program. Yes, listening. So, you must be aware that when a child is born, how he masters any language, obviously, the only first step is listening. So today we are going to focus on how we can master the listening skills in us. So without any delay, let us start the session. So here we begin. So our topic is Linguaskill listening skills, and that is based on your business aspect of the topic. So, I would like to introduce you to what is this Linguaskill business program. Yes, what is this all about? How it is different from the other programs. So, it is basically which offers a complete picture of the English abilities. It checks how fast, how accurate is candidate with all the 4 language skills, right? English is a language which is spoken all over the world. From Kashmir to Kanyakumari, so many languages are spoken. But do you know which language keeps us connected throughout the world? So that is English. So therefore, it has become an urgency for each one of us. If we are willing to work in a very good company, then at that time it is important that we should master this language. And in Linguaskill business examination, we have to understand that how in business world we have to speak English. When it comes to talking to any customer on phone, when it comes to interact with any client, when it comes to, book any deal, then at that time it becomes very, very much important that we have to master this skill. So Linguaskill test the most relevant to the role. So this business test is only conducted to see that are you having all those language abilities, English language abilities, which is most suitable for that job role. So that is the purpose of this test. Even if you are working in abroad, even you are working in India, the employer who is hiring you, they want to check that whether you are the right candidate for the job, whether you are having all those abilities which can help you in the smooth functioning of any business setup or in the smooth functioning of any organization. Are you having all those important skills? So this is what is our Linguaskill business program. Here we are making you aware about what is this business test, how it is different from the general test, what are the things which we have to focus more and more. So in this test you are going to enjoy. I will focus that there are 2 kinds of tests. Linguaskill general test, which is focusing on your everyday English. Whatever everyday English you are speaking in your day-to-day life, that is your everyday English. But if I am talking about Linguaskill business test, it focuses more on the languages which is used in the workplace. So whatever the languages which are more in the workplace, so how it is to be done, how it is to be understood, if you are getting used to, acquainted with the language, the expressions, the methodology and everything which is used at your workplace. If I'm talking, what is this Lingua business all about, how it works, I'm going to tell you. So it is very quick and convenient. So it's online, so it's very quick, it's very convenient. You can take this test at your home, from any corner. So it is very quick and convenient test. The second point I would like to tell you, it is working on the individual level of the candidates, right? It is an adaptive test. It is powered by artificial intelligence technology. Now here I would elaborate this, that what is this artificial intelligence technology. So for example, I'm going to start my test, and the moment I'm taking the test, the number of questions which are coming one by one. Now what happens if I am making one question correct, then automatically my difficulty level will increase. So gradually your difficulty level is going to increase if you are attempting all the questions right. Again, if you are taking the test, if you are making any wrong answers, you're choosing any wrong options, then what will happen? Again, they will formulate the questions according to the next level. Maybe you will be getting a questions according to less difficult level. The level will decrease automatically. Adaptive test, and that's why it is powered by artificial intelligence technology. They detect you according to the level of the candidates. The questions are being put up. If I'm talking that it provides accurate results within 48 hours. So within 48 hours, you are going to get everything. And it is very easy to administer. You can take it any place. Even candidates, if you are at home, from your home, you can take this test. So there's no time constant for this. So from your home, you are going to take this test. There are so many good things about this test that you are getting so much things which are there in the test. It's quite easy because there are so many tips and tricks which I'm going to share you, and you will find it very interesting. And if I'm talking about how you're going to be evaluated, what about the results? The results are aligned to Common European Framework of Reference, that is CEFR. Again, I'm going to repeat again. It's Common European Framework of Reference, the international standard for describing the language ability. So I'm sure that this test is going to help all the candidates who are trying to help them with the language abilities. No doubt after taking this test, there is a significant change in your personality. You will feel that you are working on more on your English abilities. So many good things you are going to understand throughout this session. You are going to work on your listening skills. You will have good number of tips and tricks which are going to help you solve all the questions in a very easy manner. So this test has got so much of learning is there, which is really going to help you. Which is going to help you update yourself with how the business world, if you are writing emails, you are talking with your colleague on phone, if you are negotiating a business deal, if you are talking with a client. So many good things are there. So this Linguaskill business test is all about the business world. When you are entering a business world, you are holding presentations, you are calling up your colleagues, you are meeting with the candidates. Every time you are putting them lots of questions, there's cross questioning, there are so much of phrases. So every time you are going to get so many good things in this entire preparation module. So your language is going to enhance, your listening skill is going to enhance. So overall, step by step, we are going to move ahead. We are going to brush everything about our listening skills. So you have to follow each and every instructions which I'm going to give you here very much with full, you have to be very much attentive throughout the modules, right? So once you are tuned up with the listening part, obviously listening is the first step for learning any language. As I told you, when a child is born, the very first thing he does is listening, and very soon he masters the language, whatever country he is born. So he is doing all those things. So dear candidates, I'm very much sure that you are going to enjoy this whole series. So I'm going to share everything, every minute details which is required in this listening skill module. If I'm talking about Linguaskill business, I will tell you that if I'm talking about the test format, right? So the test format includes its reading and listening. These are combined. And the approximate time which is given to you is 60 to 85 minutes. Then there is again writing skills, which is of 45 minutes. And then again speaking skill, which is of 15 minutes. So this is the overall format, test format. This is divided into 3 sections. and each section has its own criteria to evaluate. Different kinds of questions will be asked to you. So you have to be available with your mind, with your full energy to understand all these areas, to cover all these areas. And I'm sure if you work on this, you will get wonderful results. I am talking when it comes to listening. It's a very important topic. See, I am just telling, it's my experience that when a person knows, listening is more difficult. Yes, I'm not making you afraid, but listening is more difficult because you have to be lot of focused. You need to be there's a lot of focus, lots of attentiveness is required. So people don't want to listen. That is the problem. Speaking is okay. If I have to speak anything, I will just put it in my own words and I will tell it. But when it comes to listening requires a lot of focus. So when we are listening any sort of message, right, we encounter so many people in our daily life and we listen to so many people all around. So when you are listening something, then it becomes important that how we interpret both verbal and non-verbal messages sent by the others. So when you are listening in your real life situation, you are listening to someone and you are seeing that how that person is speaking. You are, seeing their body language, you are seeing their eye contact, your facial expressions, how they are using their hand movement, gesture, posture, everything. But here in the test, when you are listening to the audio, you are not able to see them, that what is the facial expression, how they are sounding, how they are speaking. So at that time, you have to focus, you have to concentrate with full attention. You have to think that when you are listening to them, you have to focus on each and every minute details. So here, you are not listening, you're only focusing on the verbal part, you're not focusing on the non-verbal part. So your only way to answer the questions given the examination is there, noticing their voice, their accent, their intonation and everything. So that's why listening needs full concentration. And if we focus on all these things, then definitely our listening will become, it will become a very easy way to understand how it goes well. So here I'm talking about another aspect of listening. There are 7 C's of listening. I'm going to share all the 7 C's of listening today. And I'm sure that if you will follow this, your listening journey will become very, very easy. These are the tried and tested things that if anyone wants to become a good listener, one should focus on all these aspects of listening. And I'm sure if you are going to do that, your listening is going to improve. The very first thing which I would like to focus is if you are listening something, you have to listen for the clarity of the thought. Listening should be done with full clarity. Each and every word uttered by the speaker should be clear to you. So whenever in the Linguaskill business program, if you're listening to someone, make sure you have to listen for the clarity. The message, the information which is given to you in the audio, it should be clear. You can understand everything, the words, the intonation and everything. So it should be listened with full clarity. The second point which I would like to focus, that if you are listening should be complete. I want that if any listener is listening only a partial message, you're listening only a word and you are thinking that, oh, I'm done with the listening. It's not possible. You have to listen with complete information. You are listening only a part of the information, only a part of the audio, and you are thinking, oh, I can solve the questions. It's not possible. You have to listen for the complete information. Sometimes it happens in interviews that the interviewer is asking a question and he is only half with the question and the candidates jump, oh, I know the answer. So it should not be done. Let the information be completed and then you can switch back to your questions. So listening should be complete. A complete information will help you to understand all the questions in deep. If you are listening only for a small piece of information, then you are not an active listener. You turn to be a passive listener. So listening should be all the time, it should be complete. Complete listening will help you to get maximum scores in your examination. So there should be no partial listening. You have to become an active listener. You need to listen to all the information with full concentration. So this will make your journey of listening very easy. I know it. It sometimes it needs a lot of patience. Oh, your ears need to be tuned up to all the audio. But this is the practice which we need to develop. Then only our score will be higher. And after that, my next point is that you have to be very much careful. Careful listening. I have used the word careful because some people, they are listening, the audio is going on. But what about the careful? You have to catch on the words. Which kind of words? Every word which is there. I will be explaining all the words detailed that in the listening audio, what kind of words you are going to get it. So you have to be very much careful with the words. After that, I want to say that concentration is the key to success. Yes, if you're listening with full concentration, automatically your success ratio will be high. Because I have seen people that they are listening, but what about the concentration part? There should be no distractions. If there is a distraction, then there is a barrier. Suppose you are listening to me, right? But what about the distraction? Maybe there's a distraction. Maybe your mobile phone rings. Maybe your doorbell rings. Then what time? Listening should be distraction free. I have seen people when talking on phone, they are only listening to a part of the information and they are saying confirmations. They are putting yes, no. I feel concentration, if you are listening with full confirmation, there is very less chances that you will miss even a single information. So you should not miss even a single information when you are listening. I have seen candidates lacking behind in examination because they fail to concentrate, they fail to focus. So how you will get the ideas, how you will get the overall gist of the audio. So concentration will help you to understand the things in a very nice way, in a very order way. So I always warn my students, my candidates, that they have to be very much focused, they have to be very much concentration in their listening abilities. Your mind, maybe so many thoughts are coming in the mind when you are listening to the audio, but that should not be there. You have to listen with full energy, listen with full concentration. Make your ears, tuned to the listening part. So that is something which is really going to help you in the coming time. So listen for every piece of information, listen for making the things clear, listen for clarity, and that is something which is going to help you out in the coming time of your Lingua Business Preparation Listening Skills series. The next point which I would like to focus is correctness. Actually, what it happens that sometimes when we are listening, we, perceive something wrong. So it should not be there. You have to listen for the correct information. You're telling your mind that, okay, this is the information, but no. So you have to just get into tune for the right information. So correctness is very much important. You listen to the correct information. Maybe you're getting n number of words, but in the question, maybe you are listening n number of characters, but in the question what happens? That the question is related with another character and the action which is done by the character is something different. So that comes the correction. 4 characters are there in the listening. Okay, character number 1 is doing one thing. Character number 2 is doing something different. Character number 3rd, 4th. So you have to match up. You should not be mix match. In the questions, it may happen. They will ask you, what was the action done by character number 1? So that's why correctness is important. You will get n number of words, you will get, and those words will be repeated in your questions too. But that doesn't mean that is your answer. So listening should be always done with correctness. So correctness is very much important in your lingua skill business, because you will get so many business words over there. You have to get used to all these words, right? So now we are going to focus on our next part. Now you have to listen coherently, that very much. Each and every sentences which has been focused on the listening, it should be coherent. The thought process should be coherent, because it goes in a way. So there should be point by point, step by step. You have to listen to the things. Then only the things can be in a simple order. The coherent, it should be completely coherent. And after that, you have to be very much courteous in listening. Yes, I have seen that in our real life also, when we are listening to our teachers, professors, we need to be respectful and regardful towards a person. So, in your general life, you should understand this. You have to be courteous to the people who are listening. So, all the time you have to understand. So, listen with full courtesy. Okay, you have to give respect to that particular section which you are listening. So there's a feeling of respect. I'm listening this. I have to be more, I've told you that you have to be focused. But with respect, if you are listening, then that becomes very, very much fundamental in that, because that is a fundamental that in every aspect of listening, you have to be courteous. So giving respect and listening with devotion will always be, helping you in your listening abilities. So these 7 C's, I'm very much sure that if you follow this, it's going to improve your listening skills. It's going to brush up with your listening part, and it is also going to help you become a very good speaker, because as you know, only a good listener can turn to be a good speaker. So that part you have to understand, that I am going to listen with full energy, with full enthusiasm, day by day, month by month. I'm going to listen so many things, and definitely you will be able to understand all the aspects of listening. But be sure, it's not going to happen in one day. In one day you are going to listen something, oh, I'm done with the listening. No, you have to listen a lot to actually, make yourself reach at a certain level, because obviously everybody knows practice makes a man perfect. So you have to be in a practice mode all the time. I have to listen. It should not be like only, okay, today is Sunday, so I'm going to listen. No, you have to be very much consistent. So listening also needs to consistency. Consistency is the key in any part of this program. You have to be consistent with your ideas, with your knowledge. Keep on improving it on all the aspects. If I am talking about how mind picks up the language, yes, this is something which is very much important. If you are talking about the listening part, right, we are listening to the people who are in the examination. You're going to listen to the native speakers, right? And in your daily life, you are listening to non-native speakers. But our focus is on the native speakers of English, because the audio which you are going to hear, it's basically the native speakers you will be listening to. So now the point is that how you're going to get that kind of environment where you can listen to the native speakers of English language. So what I feel that at this point of time, if you watch television, right? If you watch radios, movies, and you will be getting all those important materials, all those important listening phrases. And what happens that the native speakers of English language, they are using so many standardized expressions. Standardized expressions means there's no any translation for that. They're using, tuning the words, and they're using all the standardized expressions, because in your regional language, in our national language, there's so many standardized expressions. So in the native speakers they are using so many standardized expressions, and they are giving their best in that. As we are speaking our own native language, then what happens? We don't have to go for the translation. There's so many standardized expressions. That means they're commonly used. We don't need to focus on that. So focusing on the standardized expression will help you to become a better listener. right? Because when the audio is going to play it in the series, then you have to, oh, these are the standardized expressions, and you're already aware about that. So it will help you. It will help you to be the best version of yourself. So, dear candidates, I want that your ear should be glued to television shows, radio shows, movies, where you are exposed to the native speakers. Or you can also join a group on social media where you can speak with them, because in this age of liberalization, globalization, and privatization, when you are sitting in front of your internet, the whole world is like a global village. You can connect to anyone at any point of time. You can make your own friends circle where you are listening to all the native speakers. Even if that's not, then there are so many things. Movies are there, talk shows are there, business talk shows are there, where you can focus on the standardized expressions which are used in English. This is certainly going to help you in a very long way, and you will understand this, that it's very easy. I want that if you want to be a very good listener, I have done this. See, God has, given us a very wonderful device, that is our brain. If I'm talking about my mobile phone, right, there's a limited GB of space into it. I'm talking about my laptop. There is a limited GB space. There's a limited storage over there. But if I'm talking about the brain, can you understand this? In brain, God has given us unlimited storage. So I feel that your mobile, that your laptop, it has got its limited storage. But with our mind, our God has given us a head top. It has got unlimited storage. And when it has got unlimited storage, then you can do wonders with it. So I want the way you prepare a folder in your laptop for storing any information. So I want that in our head top, that wonderful device, that wonderful thing which is gifted by Almighty, can't we prepare a device for listening? Is it important? Yes, we have to prepare a device for listening. You prepare a folder of listening in your mind, right? And every day you make sure you fill this folder with some sort of listening. Anything, whatever you want to listen. If you want to listen to something, a business talk, you can listen. If you want to listen to a business interview, you can listen. A business conference, a seminar, a movie, anything, whatever interests you. If you want to listen it to, then you can listen. So listening is the key. God has given us this head top, and with this head top, we have to use it. The more you use it, the more you are going to be expert. So make yourself at least 1 hour of a day. You have to expose your mind to listening. Then the folder which you have prepared in your mind will definitely be, used to this kind of accent, intonation, pitches and everything, words. So use this folder all the time. And gradually, when you are listening, you will come across so many words, so many expressions, standardized expressions. And what will happen at that time? You will feel so confident. You will feel, oh, yes, I have done something. And you will feel very good. Oh, I have listened. Your knowledge is going to increase, and knowledge is the greatest wealth. You will feel something. Oh, I have heard something. You will update yourself. Your confidence level will improve. So listening has got so many advantages. And I feel this is my personal experience, that when you are speaking something, your speaking means you're already knowing about something. And when you are listening, then you are learning something new. So this is the importance of speaking. And it has also been said that, speaking is silver, but listening is golden. Speaking is silver and listening is golden. So this also statement, states the importance that how much speaking is important in our real life situation. So speaking is important, no doubt. Speaking is important, but now you will realize no, listening is also very much important. You are going to be so much updated with all the information. You are going to have wonderful experience in this listening journey. So now I'm going to move ahead with my next point. So here I go. Now I'm going to talk about that Introduction to Linguaskill Business Program. It comprises of one section which is reading and listening, writing and speaking. So why Linguaskill Business Exam? You must be thinking that what is the need to take this test? Actually, they want to judge that the candidates which are applying for the job, they have to go for this test. And they don't have time to access the candidate English reading abilities, English listening abilities, writing abilities. So they want that they should have an eligibility, they should have a certification from a recognized body. So these kind of business tests are conducted, and you are not going to be evaluated on your everyday English. You're going to be evaluated on your business context. If you're using an English word, then are you able to use that English word into the business context? Are you able to understand the importance of that English word in a business context? So that things make the things important. And it is very much important that in corporate settings, in corporate world, in business world, when you are going to work somewhere, that it becomes very much important that from the very beginning you have to make yourself aware about everything, how people are listening in business world, how they are responding to the conversations on telephone, how they are listening to their bosses, the manager and candidates, how they are putting the things in the right context. The recruitment in the organization is based on the skills. I want that there is only one relevance, that the employers, the organizations which are hiring you, they want to check whether you are familiar with the language of business, whether you are familiar with your business skills, business English skills. So that is the purpose they are conducting this test. And if you pass this test with a great level, then you automatically you're going to get hired, selected. You're already aware, and it's very easy for you to understand this. Now, if I'm talking about the Linguaskill business, then what kind of topics are included? So obviously, if I'm going to talk about the business world is very high. Even it's a large firm or small firm, even it's a business on an international company, or you're working in any MNC, then at that time you have to understand this. For example, if you are buying and selling your products or services, then you need Linguaskill business examinations test to be conducted. Then you are going to hire you. Or if you are going to have an official talk, how you will go for office conversation. Sometimes you have to colleague with your team members, your boss, your members. So just imagine there is an office culture. And in office culture, sometimes we have to talk with our boss, manager, assistant manager, team leader, chairman, personal secretary, everywhere. So at that time, what you can do? At that time, you will feel, oh, it has got so many English words, so many English expressions are required. Even your colleague is or client is sitting in front of you and the meeting is starting. You have to think that what you have to understand. So that becomes very much easier that time that we have to understand this. So at that point, it becomes very much important. In professional settings, if you are for a business travel, you are going and you have to speak to the human resource department. You have to speak with your boss, colleagues, everywhere. So there are lots of official conversations which are going all around. So that is why the topic involves that here you have to get used to with all the business prospects, with all the business topics. And that is something which is going to help you out in the long run. So that's why the time has come when we have to make yourself aware about these business vocabulary, these business situations where you will understand that how much it is important to understand these business skills. If I'm talking about the types of questions, then there will be a two category of question. The very first will be listen and select. So what is this listen and select? I'm going to talk that candidates listen to short audio recording. So a short audio recording is going to be played and you have to answer a multiple choice questions with three options, right? So you have to listen to a short recording first, and after that a set of questions are going to be displayed on the screen and you have to answer that. The second kind of question is your extended listening. So here you have to listen to a longer conversation. Candidates listen to a longer recording and you have to answer a series of multiple choice questions based on it. So multiple choice questions means one questions followed by four options. So you have to answer on that. The questions are in the same order as the information they hear in the recording. So two kinds of questions are there. You can see the very first is listen and select. This is the first variety. And the second kind of question is extended listening, where the recording is completely louder. Now next is listen and select. Here when you are listening something, here you will get information in the picture form. So picture form, you have to listen to your recording, and in the first question you can listen this recording for 2 times, right? And here the multiple choice questions will be pictures. So any kind of pictures are there. What are these pictures? We'll be discussing it here only in this module, and there are 3 choices. All the choices are in the picture form. So understanding the pictures are very much important. So now let us elaborate all these details, that what are these pictures going to be. Pictures are maybe the conversation is between 2 colleagues and they are talking about the prices of something. Maybe they are talking scheduling a meeting. So maybe they are talking about dates. Maybe they are going to talk about the business growth, and maybe there is a graph on your picture. So you have to understand that. Maybe there is a kind of numerical information given in the picture. As a candidate, we have to understand this. We have to read a lot of business magazines. We have to read a lot of business texts where we can understand that how these things are there. I'm going to explain in more detail that how it is going to be. For example, you may come across a graph. 2 salesmen, your 2 company people are talking about a graph. There are 3 graphs, but for which graph they are talking, you're not aware. So that becomes very much important for you at that time. So what is a graph? A graph can be described as a pictorial representation or a diagram that represents data or values in an organized manner. So that is your graph. So it's a pictorial. What data, whether the company is going some progress, what was the progress of the company in 2017, what was the progress of the company in the back 2 years, what will be the progress of the company next 2 years. The conversation will be on that. And then you have to check that what is the most appropriate answer for that person. So accordingly, you have to understand this, and once you understand, the things can be clear. Next kind of picture can be a pie chart. That is a circular chart. You may have, if you have gone for any business magazine, then you must have seen a pie chart is a type of graph that represents data in the circular graph. So maybe they are showing something and the conversation will be played, and there will be 3 pie charts, option with A, B, C. And they will be talking, okay, the revenue department, we have this kind of expenditure. The sales department, we have got this kind of expenditure. So they will be talking about that. And you have to choose the correct pie chart. So you have to understand this. You have to understand these diagrams. You have to devote your time for this. Your mind should be very much cool, calm, composed when studying all these pictures. And then you can do justice with the topic. So that becomes one thing. So we have understood graph, we have understood pie chart, and now we are going to understand our third important picture. So let's see what is our third important picture. So our third important picture is your fraction. What is a fraction? A fraction is a numerical quantity that is not a whole number. So you must have understood this, that 1 half, 1 by 23rd, quarter, third quarter, 1 by 6. So that is your fraction. So maybe there's a conversation being played on the fraction part. So you have to understand this also. Similarly, you will get other pictures. For example, this is a number system. They will be calling a number system is a system representing numbers. So you may come across such kind of number system. They may be talking about the sales figure. So you have to identify the correct picture. What is this picture all about? So these information is really going to help you out. I will be explaining numbers in great detail. You can see number 0 can be pronounced as 0 or nil. Sometimes it happens 0 or nil. But the company sales are increased by 0.5%. So we say 0.5%. Sometimes in native speakers, they pronounce 0 like O. If I say that our helpline number is 1800562867, but the native speakers, they also pronounce like, it can be said as 1800562867. So I have an experience when I was working in a multinational company, island-based company, and they were pronouncing this number. They always used to tell like OO, when it's 1800562867. So this is how, number system goes on. When it comes to year 1990, 1990, so they are going to talk about like this. So every time when you come across number, see, for example, 01235. So how you are going to pronounce this? Obviously, we say, 12345. So this is how, when it comes to reading a telephone number, you may hear 0 like O. So you have to be familiar with this aspect. Or obviously, when it comes to the time frame, when you are talking about the time, then how do we say 6:15? So you have to, which time frame? They are talking about the business, the scheduling of the business, and then you will be asked that which time frame they are talking. Maybe you will be getting your questions like this. The 6:15, the correct answer is 6:15. Next is, how do we say 20 to 7? So 20 to 7, that is 7:20. So your option number will be 7:20. So maybe you are getting such kind of question. The audio has been played. They are fixing up the meeting. They are talking about so many time frames. They will talk, okay, we'll have a meeting with the product demonstration this time and the sales meeting at this time. So they will be asking, okay, when was the sales meeting planned? And at that time, you have to work on this picture. You have to understand these pictures. How do we say 6:30? So it's 6:30, obviously understood. 6:30. We need to understand all this picture reference. You have to be very much sure that which time frame they are talking about. How do we say 7:45? So it's 7:45. These are very basics. Even you practice a small amount of it, you will have a very good understanding of how the time frames are being spoken. Now we say 2500 to 2500 is 2500. 2500. That is the correct answer. How do we say 3/4? So 3/4, 2 halves, third part, sometimes. So 3/4. So in this way we have to understand this. Right? So they are talking that a portion of the business needs to be done, a portion of their money has to be invested here. So maybe you are getting so many conversations like this, and you have to understand the viewpoint of each and every conversation which they are holding. The audio which will be played to you, the picture will be on the screen. You have to understand everything. You have to coordinate the audio with the pictures which are shown in the listen and the select category. How do we say 1/4? That's a 1/4. So that's a quarter. 2019, again 2019. So we have to aware about all these things when it comes to understanding, because dates, years, everything are going to be discussed in the picture form. 5.2 kg. We always say 5.2 kilograms. We never say 5.2 kilograms. We must be used to with all these business aspects. After that, how we say the number 2500 is pronounced 2500? No, it cannot be like that. You cannot say hundreds, it's false because you cannot say thousands and hundreds. So this is one aspect we have to understand. After that, how do we say 7.3 kilometers? 7.3 kilometers? No. 7,3 kilometers, 7 full stop 3 kilometers, 3.7 kilometers. No, it's always 7.3 kilometers. Our judgment is always there. So whenever any picture is given to you, we have to understand that how it is to be done, how we have to understand this, how things are to be done. So understanding the pictures in listen and select category is very much important. The more you will understand the pictures, the more you are going to understand the sales figure, the graph, the pie chart. Maybe they will be showing you some pictures of some commodities. Maybe they are showing you about a transport department. Maybe they are showing you any sort of picture, any sales purchase which was done. So they are going to show you so many things. That's why it becomes very important for us to understand the picture. What picture they are talking about. So they maybe show you the scene of a conference room and there is some problem with the conference room. They will show you 3 pictures with 3 different problems. So you have to understand, you have to correlate with their thoughts, with their words, that what they are basically talking about. It has become very important for us that we have to understand all these picture forms which are used in business talk, which are used in all day-to-day conversation, and then we can understand, we can enjoy our Linguaskill business program, we will enjoy everything, and we will be able to give our test with full confidence, right? And there will be very, very less chance of doing mistakes. But understanding is the key, knowledge is the key, which will help you in scoring better. Now we will switch to another sections. Let's see what it is. So our next section is about our very, very important thing that you have to understand, a little bit of grammar. Little bit of grammar understanding is very much important. So because whenever you are speaking anything, when you are listening anything, you're listening to grammar. But English grammar, what is this English grammar? You have to understand, right? So maybe in the listening conversation, you are listening to nouns. You're listening some names of the people, right? So that is your noun. Maybe you are listening to pronouns. Maybe in the audio, the topic is about Miss Jenny and the pronoun which is used for Jenny is she. Then you have to understand that. Maybe Jenny has signed a contract with a company and signed is your verb. Maybe it's talking about Jenny's qualities. Jenny is very hardworking. She's very good at communication. She's very optimistic. Then these are the adjectives. You have to listen to all the things. Maybe you are talking about the candidate. The conversation is about your adverb. So maybe Jenny is very, very dedicated towards her work. So it's very is your adverb. Preposition. You are talking about the prepositions of the time. So maybe so many things are there. You are talking about conjunctions. You are talking about something about the conjunctions, and you have to make sure you are understanding is that how the 2 sentences, the 2 phrases, the 2 clauses are being, joined together. And so many understand. Maybe there are interjections, there is a kind of sudden feeling which is coming out from our mind. These all things, understanding the basic English grammar will also help you to become a good listener in the terms of Linguaskill business program. So we need to always understand that what is the grammar portion. If there is noun, we have to focus that which noun it is, right? Example, maybe the candidate has visited a very beautiful site or visited a conference, and she is talking about the number of people she has met in the conference room and what is her overall quality, whom she has contacted. Maybe she has booked a hotel and over there she has encountered any kind of problem, then with whom she is having. So you are here addressing, you are talking about the names of the people and they are the nouns. Maybe she went to attend a conference, and in the conference she faced so many difficulties. Maybe what kind of actions were there in that conference. So that is talking about the verb. I'm repeating this because you must have a correct understanding. Now, in business English, we are also focusing on so many adjectives. Adjectives tells us that how it becomes important for us to understand this. So, understanding the business skills are very much important with the real grammar. So, dear candidates, I'm very much sure that if you tune yourself with all these link tips and tricks, you are definitely going to top score in all the lingua business test, and you are going to have a very full command on these examination. So, with more tips, I'm going to see you in the next episode. This is a listening program, and you have to listen with full concentration, with full focus. And the more you focus, the more you understand the all simple tips, you're definitely going to understand everything with full concentration. Then it's very easy. It's going to be very, very easy. So, see you in the next episode. Till then, thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.